All right, welcome back. First, let's start off by identifying in the top left corner ChatGTP. You can pay my UX consultant invoice. I appreciate your energies in completing the updates to your prompt page based on my suggestions. So, for those of you just joining us today, as many of you remember, I did a video a while back about ChatGTP's prompt page and a huge error in their grid alignment, which I found to be pretty elementary and also offensive that this piece of work was allowed to go into production. And, so I decided to point it out and do a video about it because it was just really annoying me. As you can see, I circled the area of interest in red. Now, in UX, this is pretty simple to create, but yet, for some reason, or several reasons, they weren't able to really align the grid. And maybe you can answer what's wrong and provide your suggestions. But the answer that I never got from anyone was that the problem was not so much the copy, because I'm assuming they allowed this because the copy was Leganese, but it was the size of the grid and the size of the tabs and the responsive programming, the responsive coding. And so, anyway, though, to my surprise, I thought I was being treated unfairly. And then I discovered this just a couple of days ago. Thank you for joining me today. It's been a minute, but like I said, I've just been sitting around waiting for people to make these updates. I mean, all I can do is keep going out there and finding things that are wrong and consulting, and I got to do follow-ups. So I didn't want to get too in over my head because I know they're watching. I know they're watching, and they're going to see these videos, and they're going to make the updates. Now, I don't know how originally what was the prompt page for chat, how that sloppiness got out, but whatever. They fixed it. That's the good news. So chat GTP, if you look to the top left, you see my consultant, the UR code. Go on and click on that and pay my invoice. Thank you very much for your input. I think I had a disclaimer in the description box that said that any attempt to take my suggestions and or implement changes would consider a mutual agreement of consulting with me. So I appreciate you guys paying that invoice. All right. Now, the good news is ChatGTP has corrected their flawed UI design grid. As you see in these pictures right here, this is what it looked like before. And it was awful. It was the worst type of design. I don't know how they did this. I don't know what the layout was that made them think this was appropriate. I later learned that it possibly was a mobile implementation first. That's what did it. But then when they went over to the desktop, their responsive code was buggy. So anyway, that's what we got. But I did a video on it several weeks ago, and I noticed that they have made the updates. And this is a funny story with the updates because I first saw it on LinkedIn and thought it was somebody who just did what I wanted to do, which was make a mock-up to give them. But then I saw it live on this site, and then it reverted back to the old way. So I don't know if it was me, just tripping or what, but I'm excited to see that they took my advice and they corrected the grid problem. But guess what? Even though they corrected this grid problem, guess what? It's still wrong. Yes, it is still wrong. So, but this time I'm not going to tell them anything because, I'm not going to tell them why it's still wrong. But you guys can tell me why you think this is still wrong, because it is. It's still very, very wrong. So I'm thinking to myself, what's the problem? Why don't you just hire me? Why don't you just hire a UX designer to correct this? Do you not know that UX design is not just the data and user, it's also the visual, it's also the appearance, the layout, right? And there's many different combinations of layouts that will actually work. I don't know why they choose this one. This one is more like a form layout, but it's not even, I don't know. So I don't know why they keep using this layout for the prompt page. But anyway, I had to take that call real quick. It was a business call.
But I don't know why they keep using this. There's many different combinations that work better, that would be more optimal. But this is still incorrect. I'll tell you this though. Looking at it now, the prompt bar will send a message. That copy is not right. And also the prompt bar shouldn't be at the bottom. It shouldn't be a footer thing. It shouldn't be a footer thing. Maybe I'll do this weekend and redesign this for these guys, but I got to get data. So if anybody wants to volunteer and be my user flow guinea pig, hit me back and we'll set it up for Sunday and I'll work on it Friday night, Saturday, and we'll test it. But I would say right now, immediately, this bar needs to be up top. That's where I would put it. If the data comes back, I want to test it and see, because I just think if this doesn't feel right at the bottom, it's just something about it doesn't feel right. But anyway, that's not what's wrong though. So you guys can tell me what's really wrong with this page. All right. That's all I got for today. All right. This is it. We're moving forward. We're making changes. This shit is actually working. I'm excited. I'm going to keep doing these types of videos. All right. Talk to you guys soon. Later.